GM, it's 21st of March 2024, and this is your Solana daily debrief. So, Coingecko, this is a great source for any general information. People go to Coingecko to see trends and they get all this information and then they work out what the trend is. So when there's a trending token on Coingecko, you know that it is in fact going to get a lot of attention, or it's getting a lot of attention. And right now, Solana is getting an insane amount of attention. Blockchain ecosystem's global traffic share by people actually going to Coingecko and typing in this particular token. Solana, 50%, Ethereum, etc. Now I know I cover Solana pretty much exclusively, and I do plan on creating a separate channel which can cover everything, all different blockchains. The reason why there's so much value in Solana is because you can play on the chain and it won't cost you an arm and a leg. And things are a lot easier to do, and there's plenty of stuff being built over here. Solana has a little bit of a do or die mentality. In other words, they've raised funds, as in the foundation raised funds throughout the last few years, and they're just putting it into making this ecosystem come alive. Whereas there are some ecosystems, and I don't know them all really well, but some choose very limited sponsorships. So as an example, Polygon has gone and partnered with Starbucks for coffees and Reddit for NFTs and these sort of things. And they're very limited approaches. Now, of course, you can go and create hackathons as well, and they probably have. But the amount of attention that a lot of ecosystems put onto hackathons, just getting a dApp on there, is typically quite low. Then you've got things like Cardano, which seem to be exceptionally slow. There's Polkadot. Polkadot, I thought it was going to have some sort of relevance last cycle, and it didn't. The token price went up, the token price came down, but nothing really happened over there. People are just kind of bullish on the future. The future of a blockchain shouldn't be, we should start to have dApps in 10 years from now, because everything is one of those things that needs to be learned. Things are just going to iterate faster and faster. So any blockchain that's actually just shipping stuff, even if it breaks, like if the dApps break, whatever, that is far more bullish than anyone that's just slowly making changes. Now, having said that, Ethereum needs to be slow. They started off early, many years ago. They wanted to scale. It was very difficult, and a huge amount of volume and a huge amount of actual TVL is locked on that chain. So because of that, you can't just try and push an upgrade right there. You have to go nice and slow to keep that value locked there. Anyway, I guess if we're going to look at this right now, BNB Chain and Cosmos, they're also getting some attention. So if you've got a little bit of extra bandwidth, put some attention over here. Avalanche has meme coin opportunities, but expect to put in a few hours a day to try and find a good meme coin, and most of the time you will be wrecked. So just keep that in mind. And the rest, to be honest, plenty of value there, but I need to see them getting more kind of attention. If you want to though, you could go and buy the ecosystem token just as a bit of a play. Like say, Sui, Polygon, Tom, just buy, if they have a token, just go and buy a little bit of their token to see if it's actually going to appreciate. Now, as Raj points out, did not expect this. The world can change very quickly, I guess. Now, a lot of this has been kind of highlighted by the fact that meme coins are crazy on Solana. So that will kind of die down and we'll lose a little bit of market share. You'll go from 50% to maybe 35%. But overall, it's going to keep on growing. Curb thinks Solana's mispriced, and I constantly reference Curb. I can reference other people. He just does really good kind of infographics. Now, if you have a look at this, he believes there should be kind of Solana dominance of around 5%, and it's currently at 2.72%. If you don't know what this is about, normally Bitcoin's around 50% of all of the market cap of crypto. Ethereum has a sizable amount, and then the rest are just altcoins. And once again, the prediction is a $500 billion market cap. That's what ETH hit previously, and this is where we are right now. A $500 billion market cap would mean the price of one token would be approximately $1,100. Here's a cool little article which basically discusses why Solana is a leading player advancing the blockchain industry, and it's like Apple, but unlike Apple. Now, it's not always a good thing to compare yourself to Apple. Some people love Apple, some people don't love Apple. And if you've been in the space for a little bit of time, at one stage there's this thing that basically became a meme about how Frank from DGods is essentially like Steve Jobs. And although Frank is a smart person, he's not like Steve Jobs. No one's like Steve Jobs. Essentially, I think point number 9 makes the best point. Ultimately, the protocol that creates the most significant value will be the one that best understands the needs of users and developers to ship those experiences. In other words, you go into a blockchain and there's just dApp after dApp after dApp. I want to show you all the different dApps on Solana, but the website that I'd normally use isn't loading for some reason, so I won't bother about it. Okay, so a big launch is coming. This is from Circle. These are the guys behind USDC, and this is all about cross-chain transfer protocol, which basically allows USDC to go from one chain to another chain. Now, this is big news. It's kind of boring news, I guess, for an end user like myself or you. But long story short, just keep an eye on this happening. As soon as this happens, a huge amount of liquidity will, one, be able to leave Solana, but two, will come in. If for some reason the actual interest rates in, say, DRiP or Kamino or something like that are a lot higher on this chain, money will flow in and it will capture a lot of that yield. And that's what I'm predicting will happen. And when that happens, this massive amount of USDC, it'll probably be like $100 or $200 million in a single day. It will come over and a lot of it will just sit here capturing yield on different dApps. But some of it will be put into like the dollar cost average system with Jupiter, and it will be used to start buying SOL. And that's when I think we're going to see another bump up in price and maybe go towards $300. I'll be doing a dedicated video on Zeus Network. They won the Genesis vote in the LFG launchpad, but 4-4, they're trying to make a meme already, which is really cool. In the previous cycle, there was a similar meme. It was 3-3. This is different though. This is 4-4. This basically just relates to the date, April 4th. Well, it relates to the date right now. They may meme it even further. Of course, I'll have a video out within the next few days, but Zeus Network is one of those protocols that there's a lot of information. It's really hard to give it a good summary though. Kamino OG announcement. I actually can't recall the cutoff point for an OG user, but you'll be able to find this out in Discord. But long story short, if you have been using Kamino for quite some time, then there's going to be a decent allocation for OGs. And the good thing is this wasn't Sybil attacked back then. Maybe someone went in with 2 different wallets, but it was very unlikely that they went and created 10 or more wallets trying to anticipate that in the future Kamino would have a token. Because personally, I didn't even think they'd have a token because the team behind them is Hubble, and Hubble already had a token. However, in the end, as soon as the bear market kind of started to end and the bull market really started to come back, I realized that every dApp actually needs a token in order to remain competitive. I'll be starting to cover Perp Dexs a little bit more because I think there's a huge amount of value. So these are the top Perp Dexs. Mango was kind of the star child last time. They had a huge amount of money poured into them. They did a massive funding round and they got a massive amount from the Solana Foundation, which was very controversial at the time, to be honest. Now, right now, I mean, it's still a very worthy DEX, but they're not getting any attention. They don't have a point system or anything like that. DRiP is getting a massive amount of attention, but I'm quite interested in Flash. I'm doing some research into Flash and Zeta markets as well. Of course, JUP is really cool as well. And whatever you trade on this, I think will accumulate some kind of JUP, and we won't see that until next year in January. Now, there are plenty of other DEXs out here as well, and in some ways I have to find one and just kind of go with it. And I'm still trying to work out which one I should make the most amount of tutorials on. I'm looking for one that's the safest for people to use. Of course, the best experience. As for DRiP, I've done tutorials on DRiP, but I'm looking to move away from them. I think there's going to be a lot more value elsewhere. There's going to be a huge amount of dilution here on their point system. And despite their revenue, their number of wallets and all that sort of stuff, I'm noticing that they're having a really hard time scaling, and that can worry me a little bit. On to JUP. Next week, there will be a number of important events for the JUP DAO. Firstly, the proposal to fund the core working group will go live. So there's Slorg, another Seb, and Kimosabe. There's probably a couple of other people that I've missed, and if I have, I apologize. So they're all working a lot of hours, so now they basically need some sort of proposal to fund them so that they can do this effectively full time. And then next, there's going to be a massive amount of liquidity that's injected into the DAO, 10 million USDC and 100 million JUP. And of course, this is all to grow the JUPiverse. And the third thing is community discussions around the grants program will begin. We are looking to start allowing anyone to request funds, either for efforts to grow the JUPiverse or for public goods funding. We want to start the community input and discussion around this before working to formalize it. This is incredible. This is really, really amazing. There's $10 million going to a meme coin that rugs. And there's $10 million in JUP, which can lift an entire ecosystem. It literally has the power to be the sea that lifts all the boats. So please, please, please. So please, the actionable is very simple. If you have JUP, go and stake it and start voting on these things as soon as they go live. Of course, I'm always going to update you. As for yesterday with the planetary call number 5, 2.7 thousand views on Zoom at one time. Over 4,500 people had actually joined. And then 18.8 thousand views on Twitter. This is just getting bigger and bigger. On Friday, the next 2 Launchpad candidates will be doing an AMA. This all relates to liquid staking tokens and address tray finance. JUP's Perp Dexs has been going crazy with it. Actual volume, surpassing 600 million within the past 24 hours. There's a new product launching with Sniper, and this all relates to hybrid DeFi. Now, this is something I don't fully understand. I do understand that it's linked in some ways from an NFT to a token, and they do use the token 22 model in some ways as well. But I'll be on a space later on where I can ask the questions, get all the information, and then I'll make a video on it. Marginfi is coming soon with kind of the beta stage maybe for the YBX program. So this is where there's a stablecoin which is minted from a liquid staking token. And if you went to the website and actually signed up, put your email address in there, you'll start to get some sort of email coming your way. I imagine there's probably over 10,000 emails there, and they're probably just going to take the first ones. I'm unsure on that though. I'll cover this when I have more information. If you're a builder, you can build on top of Wormhole and win 20,000 USDC in prizes. This is with the actual Renaissance program. And I mentioned this yesterday, but I didn't make something super clear. And that was regarding Bonk's March Madness. If you're using Bonk in particular wallets and actually engaging with Bonk in the ecosystem, make sure you know what those wallets are. In particular, if you jump into the Chinese New Year Dragon aspect, make sure you're using the same wallet for the Dragon tail. Now, March Madness is actually closed because it's actually started. All the basketball matches have started. But just keep that in mind for future. Just use either one or a couple of different wallets for Bonk, and just use those same wallets for everything that you do that relate to Bonk. Now, the actionable of the day. DRiP is amazing. I always talk about DRiP. But now there's a sponsored claim. It's featuring Solana's #1 NFT lending protocol, SHARKY. Tap to claim a SHARKY banner for your X account with different rarities. Then participate in a raffle to win a SHARKY airdrop. So just go to DRiP, and then of course remember to go and actually lock in your legendary. If you don't have a DRiP account, all you need is 0.1 SOL in the wallet when you sign up, and it won't take any of that. It'll just sign a transaction to verify that yes, you do actually have some SOL, because it's trying to work out and filter out people that are trying to Sybil attack DRiP, because obviously it takes a lot of time. Now, this is my tutorial account, not my main account. I've gone and purchased some droplets. You don't have to do that. What you can do instead is you can go and claim them every 6 hours. And then if we go back to the major page here, we have a sponsored collectible. So you claim this free collectible, and this is commentaire as well. And then you go into raffle, continue, and then you put in your Solana wallet address, connect your Twitter username and your Discord handle, and then you submit. And that's your actionable for today. Stay curious. Catch you tomorrow.